All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the 4th and 17 podcast.
Yes, sir.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back, everybody. Here we are talking about the NFL Conference Championship games. Two really freaking good games. Um,
hmm
but first things first, my regular question, Hemish,
Hit me with it.
how you do win?
We get it, man. Although the weather is not that great
Yep,
and we're ending the NFL season, life is good. A lot of good things going on. Let me ask you, Saagar, how's it going?
it's going good, man. Life is good. Life is good. Can't complain. Like my boy Drake and Future say, life is good. Can't
Yes, sir.
complain, man. So, hey, we got a few topics to talk about today. First things first, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took on the Green Bay Packers, and this game was a very, very fun game. Tampa Bay took this game 31-26. Um, Tom Brady, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This is not the first game he's had where he's won with 3 interceptions. Um, Another monstrous game from Aaron Rodgers, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, what more can that man do? But let me ask you a question. Tom Brady, what do you think about his performance?
In the first half, he was really good, right? Like,
Yep.
he was throwing lasers everywhere. They were playing. They look like, they were dominating. They looked like they were going to continue to dominate. But, in the second half, you just see pick after pick after pick. It's just like, I get he was under pressure, right? But
Yep.
he was just he just gave the Packers opportunity after opportunity. It's just like, man, when is this going to stop? And it's so uncharacteristic of Tom Brady to do that. Like, but because it's Tom Brady, the GOAT, people will just be like, all right, he won. He's. But you said, what did you say? You said this is not the first time he's had three
Correct.
interception game in the playoff and
In
one.
playoff. Yeah.
His record, I think he's had two other games, so he's been like 3-0 in those situations,
Correct.
and people don't give him shit. Like, it's just like everyone's like Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady. Yes, we get Tom Brady's, one of the clutchest ever, great player. But people always forget the fact that his teams have come up clutch in countless times, like countless times. It's just like ridiculous to like think about because people just, they associate victories with the quarterback most of the
Yep.
time.
Yep. I
And
mean, this
because
defense, right?
yeah, so you said defense, and then you look on the other side, you got A Rod over there playing his fucking ass off, and then people give him shit when they lose, like he's not doing enough, like it's on
Yeah.
him. And I think that kind of provoked those comments at the end of the game because he was just frustrated, right? Like he played way better than Tom Brady, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, 10 times better, and they lost, and he's just like, what the fuck do I got to do? Like, they got to put some players around me, and so he's just frustrated, right? And I would be too. He put everything into it, and his team didn't, perform. He tried his best. I mean, I don't know what else he can do. Like,
I mean, here's the crazy thing, right? Like, I mean, look, Tom Brady is I mean, he's a good quarterback. He's one of the greats, right? He's got the Super Bowl wins. He's got everything that he needs. But I mean, again, to go 3-3, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in a championship game. I mean, first of all, I mean, I saw a quote today, and someone on the Bucks said that we haven't even played our best football yet. Um, that's kind of surprising. I mean, to me, it seems like you guys have already played your best football. I mean, you guys,
no, they
the
have. I don't
the
think they have.
Buccaneers can't. If Tom Brady throws 3 interceptions against the Chiefs, that's a different ball game. That's a
I think that's what
different.
that's what he, that's what he's saying. Like, minimizing turnovers, mistakes like that. But
Yeah.
at that point, like, they're expecting themselves to play a perfect game. The other team's just as good, right? They're gonna put you in. So it's not like you got to take what you can.
Yep.
But I think you know they. I don't know. It feels like they. I don't know how much better they can get on defense, right? Their defense, they kind of max out whatever they're doing, and it's a good defense, right? Their pass rush is okay. They are not okay. It's above average. It's probably top 10.
I'll say this
Linebackers really
much.
good.
I'll say
So
this
go ahead.
much. I did no. I no. No, I do like what the Buccaneers did to the Packers. Right. I mean, minus MVS, no one really had a good game. Right. Devontae Adams, 67 yards. Yeah, he had the touchdown, but 67 yards. Right. The run game was absolutely atrocious.
But
That
that's what I said, man. It's a bad matchup for the
yeah,
Green Bay
for
Packers.
the Packers.
Okay, like the Packers, they're probably when they play a physical team, they're gonna lose that battle 10, like 9 times out of 10, right? Unless Aaron Rodgers pulls that fucking rabbit out of his ass or some shit. Like
Sure.
we saw this last year. They lost to the more physical team, the 49ers. This year they play the Bucks just as, I mean, probably just as physical, I think, fast. They impose their will, and when they do that, like the Packers fold.
Mhm.
They don't got the dogs on their team. Like they need another dog on the team. Like Rodgers is a dog, right? He's a dog. Like Devontae Adams is a dog, but on the O line, who's a dog? Like on, they don't got a George Kittle.
Yeah.
They don't got anybody like Mike Evans, Godwin, like Rob Gronkowski, like any of these dogs. Like it's just like they're missing those alpha type
Scotty
players.
Miller. Oof.
Oh, white boy can run, bro.
Yeah.
But
That boy.
they don't got any of those dogs, those alpha males, and I think it hurts you in these postseason games when that matters.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, right? One of the things that happened in this game, that's come up in a lot of Tom Brady's career, was the refs. There were a few questionable PI calls on one side of the ball, but not on the other side.
There's only the
Um,
one right at the end of the game, but that was pass interference, right?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think there
Yeah.
were the ones on Kevin King were definitely, I think
Hey,
there were.
Kevin King had a bad game.
Yo, man, he got exposed. He got
Yeah,
exposed.
yeah, I know. Yeah, man, that was rough to watch. I felt so bad, like they were just picking on him, but you know, that's what happens when you play against the goat. Finds what
That's right.
liability, finds a liability, and he attacks it. So
That's it.
kudos.
All right. So, the Buccaneers move on, but let me ask you a question, right? And obviously, we'll talk more about this next week. Do the Buccaneers right now, given what we just saw this past week, do they have what it takes? Are you convinced right now? Again, we'll go in more detail, but are you convinced with the way that they're set up right now?
Yeah, I think they can give the Chiefs trouble.
Okay.
I think you know I was just looking at Tom Brady's Super Bowl appearances. Like he may not have had the better team in a lot of those Super Bowls, or he may have, right?
Hmm.
But every game was close. There was
Yep.
not a blowout, like crazy blowout or anything. So if I know anything, those games are going to be close. And according to that regular season game they played earlier, Chiefs blew them out early. Patriots came back because that's what Tom does. Or not Patriots, Buccaneers
Buccaneers.
came back and they played it close. So I'm expecting a close game. So I expect, and I think the Bucks are playing better than they did. They'll probably learn some stuff, but
Sure.
it's going to be a close game. I think they match up well with the Chiefs, but it's going to be a physical battle. Buccaneers won't be able to out physical the Chiefs. I know that
Right.
for sure.
For
So
sure. Yeah, they're definitely gonna have to bring their A game. I mean, the speed on Kansas City is gonna be hard to keep up with. So, we'll see what
well,
happens.
I will say, people keep talking about this Tampa defense. I think they're not as good as the Niners defense last year, but Tampa's offense is much, I think, more prolific, definitely, because you have better weapons and
Better
everything.
weapons.
But
Yeah.
I don't know about the run game, but we'll see if Tom can kind of counteract that. But so it's going to be a more even matchup, I think. We'll see.
The crazy thing is, so you mentioned the run game, and actually, I did want to talk about the run game. So Leonard Fournette had 55 yards, right? 55 yards, one
Mhm.
touchdown. Um, he also put up 19 in receiving yards. Like you look at the impact that he had, right? A little over 70 yards, right? Um, what do you?
So I mean, you're gonna say what was your question? But
Well,
I,
so what I was going to ask, okay, is when you watch this game, yeah, he only put up 70 some yards, but the impact he had, first of all, he looked
exactly.
good, and the impact that he had was undeniable.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. Like, but numbers may not look like it's like a buck 50 or whatever. Like
Yeah.
yards per carry is not great, but it wears a defense down.
Yep.
And like I said, when the defense is not physical, their weakness is their run defense.
Yep.
And you physical them or out physical them, you bully them, you push them, punch them in the mouth. At some point, it's gonna give, and it's just a lot. I think Leonard Force is a big boy back there, bro, but it just wears you down, and I think
No.
that's what the Buccaneers learned to keep a balanced offense, run it, be patient with it, and then it'll open up things in the on the passing game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. It may not have been best stat wise, but you definitely felt its impact.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I was saying was, you if you watch this game, the numbers they're not really true of what the story actually is. And Leonard Fournette, I mean, boy, he made an impression on this game. So, all right, let's go
Oh,
ahead and move on. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
wait.
Oh,
Let's
go
talk about.
ahead.
You know, we usually talk about the team that lost. So the Packers.
Oh,
Where do you see them going next year?
so you bring up a good point. After this game, it sounded like Aaron Rodgers was on the fence about returning. I think their GM came out and said he's definitely part of the plan. He's our number one priority. Aaron Rodgers still has something left in the tank, right? Just coming off an MVP season.
Yeah,
There, I mean, even in this game, right? 346, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. I mean, he he's still there. Um, the number one question is, will he be back in Green Bay? Um, I I
I
think
think he.
time will tell. You think
I
he will
don't.
be?
I think like I said, that frustration. He's and his answer is like, I don't know if I'm gonna be here. He's being honest. Like he doesn't know because you don't know what's gonna happen. They just drafted Jordan Love last year.
Yep.
I think he just wants clarity on like, is this the right place for me? Like, are you guys, why'd you guys draft? Like, I need weapons around me. Like, just the vision. I think he's trying to put the onus back on the organization to like kind of help him out.
I'll say this much, right? And here's what people forget. And the Aaron Rodgers contract did fuck over the cap space that the Packers had. People forget that. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, like you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? By signing that large lucrative contract, it basically pigeonholed the Packers in terms of the amount of weapons that they actually could have brought in, right? People forget that. They were kind of maxed in terms of their salary cap, in terms
You
of
can
their
still
ability.
draft. You can still
No, I
draft.
agree. I agree. And one of the things that I will say about Green Bay is that they really haven't drafted around Aaron Rodgers, right? So they pay him the money. They don't bring in any large free agents, right? First of all, it's Green Bay. Who the fuck was at Green Bay? But secondly, they don't bring the pieces in. Last year was a prime opportunity in your first round. It was wide receiver galore in that fucking draft. Oh no, it was 2 years ago. I'm sorry, 2 years ago.
These past 2 years. These past two
Yeah,
years,
yeah,
they
these
got
past two
receivers.
years, right? I mean, instead they don't they haven't built around him. It's unfortunate. And again, I think Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, goes down as one of the most underrated quarterbacks because I mean, he's doing this with players that are typically not household names.
Yeah, no, it's he carries the team, man, and it sucks for him. His career, he's gone on this long, and he hasn't gotten recognized for what he is. Because I do believe deep down he's like, I should be getting all these awards and stuff that Tom Brady's getting. Like he sees that, he's envious. He's like, man,
Oh
if
yeah.
I had a stable situation like that, players like that, a team like that, I would be the GOAT. Like,
Yep.
and then sees the new kid in town, Mahomes. What does he have around him? Fucking stacked team. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelsey, Andy Reid,
Half a
Clyde,
billion dollars.
and that defense really
Yeah.
good. So he's probably looking at these organizations like, man, can you
What are
guys
you
help me
doing?
out?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So let me
but
ask you a question. You think he's coming back? You do?
yeah,
You honestly think he's coming back?
yeah, I don't think they'll trade him. They'll be crazy to trade him.
Hmm. I agree. But
Jordan Love,
if the package is out there, if you get a package out there that's lucrative, I mean, Rogers is a California kid, and there's a few teams in California that could use a quarterback. The
yeah, but
Rams, the San Francisco 49ers. I
I
mean,
if he's there, fuck, I'll take him. He's fucking Aaron Rodgers. I don't give a fuck what the draft compensation is, but
sure.
like they wouldn't trade him. It's really hard for me to believe that they do, unless like something they have a meeting like after the season ended, so they have a meeting and they like, all right, we're gonna go in this direction, we're gonna go in this direction. Like
Yeah,
we want to put our eggs in the Jordan Love basket, but you can't do that because Aaron Rodgers played well after they
yeah,
drafted him. So
agreed. So,
they'd be the
well,
stupidest franchise to do that if they did.
yeah, I mean, look, we'll see. We'll see what ultimately happens. I mean, I'll say this much. If Aaron Rodgers does request a trade, you have to do right by him and honor that trade. So we'll see what happens this offseason. Like you said, I mean, this is going to be something to really follow. Um, Again, if Aaron Rodgers is available, I mean, there's going to be a few teams out there they're going to be
Few
willing to drop the bank.
only teams that shouldn't like are the Bills, the Mahomes, like
All the
those
playoff
types of
teams,
teams,
all the
like
playoff
top
teams,
top five
all
teams.
the playoff teams. Yeah.
uh, Russell Wilson, maybe like you don't do that. Like it's just like
Aaron
any
Rodgers to the Saints would be a freaking woof boy.
yeah. There's money. Money's an issue
But
too, so
but
it depends.
yeah.
But yeah,
All right, so we'll see. We'll see what ultimately happens. Again, fun, exciting offseason. Speaking of fun and exciting, um, this game didn't really feel like it. The Buffalo Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. You're watching this first quarter and you're like, wow, the Bills came out to play, boy.
Nah,
Came out to play.
you thought that? I was like,
Well, there was a little bit of errors. There's some errors on Kansas City side, but they go up 9-0, right?
no. So they when they scored that field goal and it was 3-0, I was like, they fucked up. They fucked up. They should have scored a tutty. Like
Yep.
if you don't do that, you cannot give the Chiefs an opportunity. Like you have to make that hole as big as you can, because we know they're coming. Like you
Yep.
cannot stop that avalanche that's coming. Like it's just inevitable. So yeah, like fuck, like they fucked. And then they scored the touchdown. Yeah, like after off the muff punt.
I'm up on,
So,
yep.
like you didn't even get the extra point. Like it's just like that screws you up later in the game. So like it's just like the even though they were up 9-0, I was talking to my brother and like friends around. I was like, man, Chiefs are coming back. Just
Oh,
no
100%. 100. I mean, look, the Chiefs are the type of team that come back from any deficit, right? But you're watching this game and you go, I mean, the Bills, you're looking at, oh, the Bills are looking like they're ready to play. But again, a
I
lot of it was also on the Chiefs for not looking like they came prepared either, right? But they rallied. The second quarter, they went 21-3 in the second quarter alone. And
yeah,
that's the thing about the Chiefs. Their offense is so quick. Before you blink, it's already over.
it's not even that. So how do you get those possessions? You got to stop the other offense,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that defense.
that defense underrated as fuck. What team has been given the Bills problems? So that's where the Chiefs put you in a bind. The Bills offense, we know top, it was like a top three offense, right? But it's just the pressure of playing Kansas City. You have to go out of your way to do some crazy shit. You can't play the way you normally can. You have to. There's a lot of pressure to play outside and go outside of your normal realm and
Yeah,
do crazy shit. So if you try that stuff and it doesn't work, then you're just gonna panic. And it's just like really easy to hit the panic button against them. And then the defense, they have quality players there, man. They make stops. They're really game plan specific. They do everything right. And it's just impressive what the defense did against that Bills offense, because we have not seen that. The Bills were humming until the Colts game was a struggle, but coming into like ending the season playoffs, they were really good.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, I think ultimately I'll say this much, right? I think one of the biggest pitfalls for this Buffalo Bills team was their run game. It was non-existent,
Yeah.
right?
So
Um,
yep.
Devin Singletary hasn't been. He's been on and off this entire season. They brought in TJ Yeldon. I can't remember the last time I heard TJ Yeldon was on the field. Like, I mean, dude, it's kind of embarrassing, right? I mean, your quarterback it leads you in rushing with 88 yards, right? I mean, Josh Allen literally had to carry this offense, right?
I can't blame them because Devin Singletary had his moments last year, so you deal with that. They drafted Zach Moss, he didn't turn out to be. So they've invested some capital. Third
Agreed.
round picks in running backs is pretty good,
Yeah.
but I think next year they're gonna want to take that next step. If they want to take a next step on offense, Cole Beasley's cool, like he's a cool little slot receiver. John Brown is okay, he's always hurt. Diggs is number one, so you have
Yep.
two bona fide weapons, right? Allen and Diggs. They need another guy. That
Yep.
was pretty evident. It's either a tight end, or a running back or a receiver, and I think that'll solidify their offense. Probably a running back,
Yep.
keep things balanced, and they're gonna be able to level up a little bit, because right now we saw it's the Chiefs and everybody else. There's
Yep.
levels to that shit. Like we saw that it was. You say the Bills look good early on, and then you realize at the end of the game, it's like, all right, nah.
It's not
They're
even.
cool.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're a good team. Good year for them. Chiefs, they're the king of the hill. Like, and by a lot. Like that was evident. Like you need a defense to stop them,
For sure.
and Bills need to work on that. They need a pass rusher or something like that. Cover guys. Like they can do good against these quarterbacks that aren't Mahomes. But basically what I'm saying is, if you're in the NFL right now and you're a contender, the way you have to start thinking about defending teams is by looking at Mahomes and how you have to stop him.
For
Because
sure.
if you can stop him, or limit him, you can limit non-mobile quarterbacks for sure. So
Yeah.
that's the way I'm thinking people are going to go. But man, Chiefs, fuck, they just do it again, man. It just looks super easy. It's like they're down by what 9 points, and other teams would panic.
Yep.
all right, cool, like calm. It's like the Warriors, when like the Warriors are down and like they just hit a bunch of threes and they come back. It's just like that's the equivalent. The Chiefs are just that,
One
and
of the things, yeah, one of the things I really enjoy about the Chiefs is like they showed the NFL clip of after I think it was McCall when McCall Hartman muffed the punt, right? And they rallied. I mean, they were like, "Hey, don't worry
yeah,
about this. We've been here before. We
exactly.
good. We good. Like this is the first quarter. Don't even worry about it. Like this is we just starting,
Exactly. If it was
right?
late in the game, then maybe a little bit. But even then, I don't expect them to fucking say like, all right, like put their head down. Not they've been there, they've done that. Like last year, every game they were down by
They're down.
X amount
Yeah,
of points. Like they're down by 10 in the Super Bowl,
yeah.
and they still won. So he has that Brady like mentality where it's like they just know, and the players believe in Mahomes. That takes you a long way, and it's
I
gonna be
like the
the
leadership with this team, man. I mean, I really the leader. I think it all starts with leadership. Whether it's Mahomes, whether it's Kelsey. I mean, they just have so much. You know what I mean? Like they have so much respect amongst each other as a team. I mean, obviously you have Andy Reid there, right? Veteran coach, but there's so much accountability amongst these players and trust. And I don't think you see that typically with a lot of teams.
Well, you don't, but I mean, I think that what makes it easier is all these players are fucking studs and
Oh, for
superstars, right?
sure,
It's
for
like
sure.
so, yeah. What they've built, man, is crazy. And I mean, they haven't won the Super Bowl yet, but they're going to be the favorites most likely. But that just to get to Super Bowl and what Mahomes has done in his 3 years starting, three AFC Championship games, two Super Bowls, like
Yep,
he's on the right path. I
yep.
mean,
It's crazy. You
that's
know what the crazy part of all this is that like you think about it from the perspective of like this core. I mean, this core is going to be together for pretty good time. I mean, they're going to be in
we'll
this
see.
together for the next couple of years, probably at least another year or two.
We'll
Um,
see. We'll see. I mean, I think they will be. I mean, Kelsey's going to get a little bit older. I think he's like getting on the side of 30.
sure.
Uh, Hill's gonna be there. I mean, it's gonna be hard to stop, and we'll see. I mean, there's only a couple of teams I think next year that can stop them, and it
Yeah.
just depends if they figure out their quarterback situation and all that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Defense is the way to beat this team, and you got to have some special fucking players on defense to do it,
I,
and a good offense to like it has to be just like the Chiefs. Like it has to be a really good defense or a really good
yep.
off like elite offense, really good defense. You need that to match them blow
And
for
you know,
blow.
you say defense, but I mean, I look at some of these games. I mean, a lot of I think every loss that he's had, Mahomes in his NFL career has been within one possession, right? Like
No, yeah, he doesn't lose
it,
like he's in these games. So
yeah,
that's what I mean. You need to have a superstar on the other side,
yep,
edge rusher who can just fucking contain him and just make.
yep,
You just need one stop right at the end of the game if it's a close game. So you just need to have that talent there and that scheme and the coaching there to do that one time at least.
yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like you said, he's gonna be in all the games. He
Oh yeah,
he he's a comeback kid. That should be his
yep.
new nickname. But that's nice, huh? Yeah,
I
I do
like
like
it.
that.
I like it. Let's
Yeah,
trademark that.
but he's gonna be in every game. I don't see him
Yep.
losing. Only way he loses is if he doesn't give a fuck about the game in the regular season. In the playoffs, he turns it up. And
Well, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of these games, especially in the regular season, I mean, you can tell, like, yeah, he loses within one possession, but a lot of it's like, I feel like they just got in their own heads, right? More so than the other team beat them, right? Like, a lot of it is just like, like this year, right? For instance, we did not mention Patrick Mahomes in any of the MVP conversations at all, right?
well, because it's so casual. It's LeBron. It's greatness.
We
It's like
expected, yeah, it's expected. And
mhm,
this is
yeah.
year 3 for Patrick Mahomes. Like that's the crazy thing, dude. Like year 3, and we're already like, it's Patrick Mahomes.
It's I say Mahomes and the team, like the talent they have. Like it's the culmination of everything. Yeah, he's the guy behind the ship, but it's everybody. And people forget, man, they have fucking Tyreek Hill.
Yep,
Ty- Tyreek Hill is probably the reason why he can do everything he's doing.
he can do. Yeah, yeah. I
You
mean
have the
Tyreek
fastest.
Hill.
You have the fastest. I mean, I don't know if he's the fastest straightaway, but just the most explosive athlete on the field.
Yep.
And then you got Travis Kelsey, the probably the best route running tight end in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
then you got speedsters like Hardman, Watkins. It's just like
It opens up your lanes, dude.
the way they've created it. It just fits perfectly. Like
Yep.
is wild. But
Well, I think one of the things that so you mentioned like speedsters, but one of the things I really like about this team is versatility. I've seen Tyreek Hill play a running back position. I've seen McCall Hardman. Like they have so much interchangeability there at all these positions. It's incredible.
and so people, I mean, don't realize even early in the year they're that explosive offense, but they've kind of matured into a complete offense. Now it's like not just down
Exactly.
the field; it's a short game.
Yep.
They have a running back who's just going to get better, right? Clyde, if he stays healthy, he's going to get better. So that it's going to be hard to stop. And like I said, you just have to pray you catch Patrick Mahomes on a bad
On a
day.
bad day. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
it. And
Yeah.
then you have a chance. Not you're gonna win, but you have a chance. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
If this
I
motherfucker's
mean,
slinging that thing, like fuck, get, just quit.
dude, it's crazy. If he wins back-to-back Super Bowls in
Oh,
his third year, I mean, good God, dude. Like again,
and then
we'll talk about more of this next week, but it's
you know what the motive is for back to back. The three-peat's never been done before.
oh yeah. Yeah,
He
not in
get
the
that on his
NFL.
resume. Check, check.
That's
Go to the
it. It's over.
coaches.
It's over, dude. 500 million, but they're gonna give him the full Billy. Oof.
So if that happens, like we'll see. We'll talk about it next week, right?
We'll talk about it next week. We'll tease it. Yeah, we're teasing it here. All right. So, hey, we talked about the championship games. Not a lot of movement in the NFL in terms of news. But one quick question: there was a official request from Deshaun Watson put in today to the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? You think he stays in the AFC, goes to the NFC? Is the Jets his number one preference? Where do you think he goes? Realistically, give me the
So
one team where you think he goes.
I think I mean the teams I think of are the teams that have the draft package
Draft
that
capital.
entices the Texans because there you look at high level superstar. I just look at the past. Who's gotten traded? Mac, right? Khalil Mack, 2 firsts. Jamal Adams, 2 firsts. Jalen Ramsey, 2 firsts.
Yep.
For positions, not as important at quarterback. So I'm thinking that if you're the Texans, you need
Mm-hmm.
3 ones, and let's have a conversation, and then
I
we'll see
agree.
what else we can get, because this is a fucking stud top 5 quarterback, right? So you got to get the most you can, and
Yep.
the thing that sucks is he has a no trade clause, so he can kind of direct which way he wants to go. But the
That
team that,
sucks. No, that's awesome. That's perfect for him.
well, I guess for the Texans, like right, they're pigeonholed into a
Sure.
certain, but for him, like yeah, he gets to go where he wants, but. I mean, like you said, the Jets are a really good team. Robert Saleh, he's gonna fucking change that culture. I don't doubt. It's just a matter of time. You get him, that's gonna be a nice fit.
Yep.
Miami, people are talking about Miami. Fuck, I would do that in a heartbeat. They got all these cap draft picks from these trades that they've been doing,
For
rebuilding. You
sure. Oh
trade
yeah.
Tua and those picks, you're good. The other teams like Colts, I don't see that happening. Can't trade them to
Nope. Not
division.
interdivision. Nope. I don't see that
Um,
happening.
name some other teams like I don't like fuck.
I mean, look, I think the three big ones that you mentioned, well, especially New York, and or the Jets and Miami. I mean, those two for sure. I think they have a lot of they have capital. They also have space in terms of salary. Um, and they have young players that you can also throw in. And we also know that the Texans love trading with the Dolphins. We've seen it the last couple of years
Yeah, we'll see.
with Stills and Larry Tunsil. So there's a good relationship, a trading relationship there.
That was Billy.
Um,
That was Billy O. They probably don't want to get swindled.
no, not anymore. Not anymore. But I really do. I think those two teams are really, I mean, in terms of like the the catalyst for this type of trade, I think those are the only two that really come to mind, right? I mean, the Jets obviously they fucked up last year and they were in the number one spot to get their number one quarterback. That's no longer an option, right? So I think those two teams. I mean, we see Tua is not the projected quarterback that we saw, especially after seeing what Herbert did, Joey B did. Um, for me personally, I think those are the two teams that really have a lot to gain and have a
Mhm.
lot to offer.
Yeah, one sec. Let me pull up the teams. I want to see if I'm missing anybody. People say the Saints. I don't see that happening.
It's gonna be very
Oh,
expensive for the Saints.
people say the Panthers are very, low key team that possibly could because he's from that area.
The two teams I've heard about that kind of came in under the radar is Carolina and the Washington football team. Those are two teams, again, young, but potential capital, can take on the contract as well. Those are two teams to watch out for.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Washington just got rid of their quarterback of the future, right, with Haskins. He's no longer there. So they're definitely itching for a quarterback spot. Carolina, I mean, it's kind of weird that they're moving on from Teddy B, but as we saw, he was kind of
He was a
inefficient
bridge
last year. He
quarterback.
was he was hurt.
It's in
Yeah,
his name, bro. He's a bridge.
he's a bridge. So yeah, all right. So I mean, those are 4 teams. I'm excited to see what happens in the offseason, man.
Matthew Stafford to the 49ers. Breaking news.
Oh God, here we go, man. Don't start, man. Don't start.
Hey, like I said, one of those teams. 49ers, they get Deshaun Watson, boy.
I mean, 49ers well, again, like they're going to be one of those teams that's going to be in the hunt for a potential quarterback. That Jimmy G, Shanahan little thing is not working. Is not working. Jimmy G cannot stay
He just gets
healthy.
hurt, man. That's all
He's
it is.
and I don't think he fits the system. I really don't. I really don't think he fits the system all that well. So
Kyle can make anybody fit the system. So
we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But
watch
hey,
out.
that's I mean, hey,
That's a
y'all know
wrap.
what to do.
That's a wrap.
We're gonna be back next week talking about the Super Bowl. Kind of excited to say that out loud. The Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah, sir. We're Super Bowl 55.
55 LV 55. Oh man,
All
it's gonna
right.
be fun. Brady, Mahomes. We're gonna go ahead and preview that for you guys next week. Follow us on Twitter at 4th and 17.
Instagram, 4th and
Instagram
17.
4th and 17. It's the 4th and 17 podcast.
We out.